All right, greetings. Hopefully, I am still holding a steady connection here. Hopefully, greetings. Welcome. Come on in. This one would be brief. Bear with me. Am I steady here? Connection steady. It looks a little steady here. Can hardly tell sometimes, so I'm hoping that I'm still have a decent connection for you all to hear me properly. All right. So, why is it important to ... Why it's important to ... Very basic conversation right here. It's common, it's known. We hear it almost every day on some level. And it's just a little friendly reminder. I was listening to something a little bit ago and it just clicked again. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to continue to reiterate this on my particular platforms just as friendly reminders. You know, these are some life lessons that we have all gained along the way, but it's easy to, we're also human, so it's easy for us to lose sight of certain things and some very basic principles that we learn along the way. It's important to ... We all have heard the old adage, don't judge a book by its cover, and the grass wasn't greener on the other side, and everything that glitters isn't gold. And I mean, we have all heard these cliches, these sayings, these statements, and it's basically just a roundabout way of saying learn the value of learning how to read energy, okay, and determine worth and value based on reading energy and what you come to know about situations and circumstances or someone's actual character versus the appearances. Appearances, right? It's that old adage about appearances. And we have all fallen prey to it ourselves. This is life. It's a part of development, right? We've all fell into these traps, okay? And we have all ourselves on some level in the journey, you know what I'm saying, especially the younger years, appeared to be one thing, but in truth was something different, right? So the reason why this is an important lesson to remind ourselves of, remind ourselves of, is because how many times in retrospect, as we sit and we look back and we go, damn, that right there should be enough to make us try to remember that lesson. Where we sit back and we go, damn, I really misjudged the situation. I really misjudged this person. Whether it was in their favor or not in their favor, whether we thought someone was more than what they were, or we thought somebody wasn't, something based on appearance, right? I love examples that show how this could play out. We see it in movies sometimes where there's this just Joe Schmo, right? He seemed to be plain and muted, and he seemed to be in the background, unimportant, right? And everyone else around him, there's a lot of hoopla, everybody's chasing height, wooty-woo. But the most important man in the room be him. And nobody catches it. I love stories like that because it's the lesson about learning how to look deeper, learning how to not be so shallow. And one of those movies was, I want to say it was Internship or something like that. So the most important guy, the Google owner or CEO or whatever it was, decided to be muted, decided to blend, just to see how people would respond to him, just to see how folks would treat him, just to see if people had any soul or depth, or if they just based everything off of appearance. The ones that they thought were the leaders. See how that goes? The ones that they thought were the head honchos. But he was the fucking head honcho. It's crazy. It's like he was sitting in the cut. Valuable lesson of life. all of our biases, our prejudices, our conditionings, where we size and shit up. And most of us, if we're honest and we look back and reflect in life, we can see where that has really cost us. Whether we estimated somebody because, they had the fancy schmancy. And we attached character to that. We attached integrity. We attached love, and it wasn't there. Versus another individual where we looked on the surface and it wasn't fancy schmancy. And instead we attached lack of value. We attached one thing and another with value was actually there. Do you see where I'm going? Now take this with wisdom and balance. All things with balance. All things with a grain of salt. Because we have those old sayings, it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, talks like a duck, blah, 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 blah. To a degree, that's truth. To a degree. But if we learn how to see what true value is, it'll help us to gauge what we want to start vesting in. This is why people focus so hard. Like, think about it like this. People focus extremely hard on the 3D because if we can create this, people who aren't soulful or don't exercise depth will buy it, right? If I can present an appearance, I won't have to prove my actual character. I won't have to prove my character. I won't have to prove my worth. I won't have to prove that I'm a decent person. If I can present that I'm the shit, then I'll skate by on that. People won't take the time out to feel into my frequency and my energy. They won't take the time to watch my true development. They won't take the time to look at how I treat people. They won't because they'll be too busy looking at all of my glitz and glam. This is a part of why this is used. And y'all hear me make these jokes, right? And see, I've come to love, I call it my Clarita Kent, Clark Kent, Superman Clark Kent, Clarita Kent. I've come to actually value that energy because in a Clarita Kent or the Clark Kent energy, you're going to find probably most truths out about people than you would ever get when you're operating in your full Superman ensemble, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or Superwoman ensemble because Superman, when he takes off his disguise, bitch, people know who he is. You heard me? And they be like, this motherfucker, this Superman. You know what I'm saying? They gonna put some act right, even if it's fake, bitch, for a few minutes, because it's Superman. You heard me? But when he's just plain old Clark Kent, the little quiet, seemingly quiet, shy, mousy dude, that blends in. Y'all laughing at me. That blends in. Ain't nobody paying attention to his ass. You know what I'm saying? They laughing at him. They think he's a joke. You know what I'm saying? He's blended into the wall, bitch. Ain't nobody concerned about him. People talk to him any old kind of way, bitch, when they think he Clark Kent. They don't talk to him like that when he in a Superman ensemble. This is why I have embraced Clarita Kent. If ever you want to know the real, do people see value in you? See, and I know it's a risky game, isn't it? But see, to me, I'd rather, since I take on the approach of life. All right, sorry. I knew it was getting weird there. I saw the little red dot. Sorry about that, guys. But as I was saying, I know it's a risky game when we do that, right? Okay, let me be in my Clarita Kent or my Clark Kent mode. But because I take on the attitude of looking deeper, and I'm not going to just take things by face value or first glance. I'm more interested in a soul, not their bling. Okay. because it can be a bling with crazy beneath the surface. So I'm looking at the soul, right? But since I have that attitude, I love operating in that energy. I love it. I also love the shock and awe that takes place when people find out you're Superman. When they find out, bitch, like you fucking Superman and shit, or Superwoman, like, what? Exactly. This is the lesson. This is why we're not to judge a book by its cover. Because someone is played out, or, muted out, or they don't live a fancy schmancy exterior appearance all the time. It's very dangerous to think that that person doesn't have worth and value, right? They may be the most valuable person on the block, but because people have a tendency to look at, let me see if they got a Benz in that driveway. They could have stole that Benz, bitch. Like, come on, like, people be so on that. Like, what is that supposed to mean? They might be spending $700, bitch. Like, come on. We got to get over that. And what kind of person is it? See, when you start ascending into more concern with that, these are life principles you carry with you. It's not just for one lesson and one situation. It's like a life principle. It's important to remember. Because some people, first and foremost, not everybody want to be bling. Not everybody want to be flashy. Some people prefer the understated life and appearance because you won't get a whole lot of motherfuckers at you and shit. Some people have gained life wisdom and understanding that not all attention is good attention, honey. And you know what I'm saying? You want valuable attention. You want to be attracting and co-creating, not just because you blinked the fuck out. Because I'm telling you, like I said, they'll talk to Superman differently than they talk to Clark Kent, but they're one and the same. People will talk to Clark Kent. They'll talk down to him. Red. Hold up. Okay, I'm back. Okay. I'm back. All right. Y'all, I'm going to get going here because I'm losing it as I'm moving around here. So, like I was saying, she valued him as a person, right? And so this is one of the tricks and tips you can even use in life. If you want to know how somebody will treat you and how they'll act, be regular. I'm just saying, be regular. Be plain and be regular. If you want to find out how somebody is going to actually treat you, how they really feel and think about you. Because check, when I step into my Wonder Woman frequency, bitch, and my Wonder Woman attire, when I'm full throttle Wonder Woman, I'm aware, okay, of what goes on. There's a couple things that happens, right? Some are intimidated by it, and so then you'll get that weird, nasty energy you'll see come out. But then on the other side, you'll also see all the oohs and ahs. Motherfuckers that wouldn't have thought twice about you before, right? Would be like, ooh, yeah. Because you see Wonder Woman in her glory. But I want a motherfucker that I can sit with on the couch without needing to be in the ball gown, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I need... see, that's where it'll blew me going in age. You know, you get to that point where you want authentic shit. Where you ain't got to be in full on, you know what I'm saying, weaved out all the time. Or partying and buying shit. You know what I'm saying? I wants to be able to be with motherfucker. I can sit on the couch and we regular, bitch. And happy with a big old goofy Chuck E. Cheese smile. All right? And when we feel like being Superman and Superwoman and Wonder Woman, we can if that's what we want to be. When we wants to have a night out on a town, right? But valuing the soul and the person in neutral, Clark Kent mode, okay? Clark Kent mode, Clarita Kent mode. Plain Jane. Because that's the same person. And check, ask these questions. That same soul, that same individual lives in there. This is a test of character for humans because that same soul, that same human lives in there, but you didn't value it when it wasn't blinked the fuck out. You didn't value. See, we have to test it, check ourselves too. We didn't value it. You heard me. But as soon as it put on Superman gear, bitch, it's like, ooh, but you didn't like him when he was regular, though. What's up with that? When he wasn't in his Superman powers and shit, like, or her Superwoman powers, you wasn't looking twice at her when she had on some glasses, bitch. You know what I'm saying? On a plane. But boy, she step out, be like, surprise, you thought that I wasn't fine, huh? Oops. Oops. Right? Life lessons. Also pertaining to character too. If we don't get over this external shit, this is why people end up in shiesty slide deals and all sorts of things, because we looked at the external package and got stargazed and distracted from being wise or doing due diligence and sensing into things. This is why there are people who don't want to actually transform into decent folks, why they work so hard to create these profile packages. Because hopefully it'll distract people long and hard enough to where they don't think clearly enough to make the proper decisions that they need to make. And by the time they catch up, it's too late, right? So take your wisdom principles with you. Okay, whatever you have learned in those aha moments, and you look back, hindsight 2020 in retrospect, and you look back and you go, damn, I really misjudged this situation. I really misjudged this person. I really did not want to see clearly or the truth about the matter. Let that be something you hold near and dear, so that as you move on, heal on, and grow on, and mature on in life, you're not recreating those same things. Life is a journey. Question your own values. And until we look at our own values, that's another issue. Question what you value and see if it's something worth valuing at this stage and phase in your life. Because when we're ready for more solid and soulful things, then we have to reevaluate all those things. Once upon a time, it could have been all about the fun, all about the appearance, all about being arm candy or getting arm candy, all about the party, all about the stat, all about the fame, notoriety. Maybe that was some of our goals. But as time proceeds, we realize it don't have worth and value, much weight. Actually, a miserable life when it's empty and void of soulful, loving connections that ain't built upon how much money you got. Or what you can compete with Joe Schmo, keeping up with the Joneses, the Williamses, the Kardashians, and whoever is popular this week. Life lessons. Don't judge a book by its cover. One way or the other. You may overestimate someone, or you actually may underestimate them too.